Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, April the 11th. Good to have you with us today. We're going to talk about Tasty Monster Productions, and then we're going to talk about ankle replacement. The two don't go very well together, though. We'll start with Tasty Monster Production. Talking Horse Productions, I've got Luke Tudball with us. Good to have you here, Luke.
Nice to be here. Thanks so much for having us.
And you are the director of this production?
I am the director of, yes, A Man of No Importance, which will be at the theatre over on St. James Street, starting on the 15th.
Talking Horse Production. Right.
Yes.
So tell me about it.
It's a beautiful story of a Dublin bus conductor in the 1960s who's a gay man, but he's not come out to himself even or any of his community, and it's about his journey through his life and eventually being outed and then the consequences of that, sort of set within a production of Salome by Oscar Wilde.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that this is somewhat of a poignant production?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful production. Ed Hansen, who runs Talking Horse, is playing the lead role, Alfie, and it's a story that I think is necessary for this time. You know, it talks about prejudice, it talks about how people view people of all different walks of life, and how actually sometimes the generalizations that we put on people need to kind of take a back seat.
Yes, because when you think about it, we are all people.
Yes.
We're all part of the same human race.
Exactly right.
And if we can learn to understand that and look at a person just as a person, not putting them in a category, wouldn't the world be so much nicer?
It would be amazing, and this play is really about that. It's really about finding an understanding amongst all of the characters. The wonderful thing about this is actually some of the other performers in the show play multiple parts.
Okay.
So they're able to take on the characters of all the people in the community who are kind of putting this production together.
And this is opening on April the 15th?
Correct.
For
9 performances.
For 9 performances?
Right, we have 3 weekends. So.
Okay, so opening on April the 15th, running for 9 performances. It's a Talking Horse production.
Correct, on St. James Street.
On St. James Street, and everybody, how do they get tickets?
Well, you can go onto the website, talkinghorseproductions.org, and there's a buy tickets link. That also has the phone number for the box office if they would prefer to do that.
Okay, Luke, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you here on Radio Friends.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to change the subject totally, and we're going to talk about replacing an ankle. If you have to. You got a great big smile on your face there, Doctor. Dr. Kyle Fiala, welcome to Radio Friends.
Thank you, thank you.
And Dr. Ben Summerhayes. It's a pleasure to have both of you here. Now, you were from University of Missouri Orthopaedic, and Dr. Kyle just happened to look at my ankle last week. You're not going to replace it, though.
We are not, no.
All right. When would somebody go about making a decision to have their ankle replaced? And what happens when you have your ankle replaced?
Yeah, so it's usually a quality of life issue for patients.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be from trauma, whether it be from mechanical instability, certain diseases, they get terrible arthritis, and it gets to the point to where it's debilitating, it's painful, it affects their quality of life, what they want to do or what they can do. And that usually kind of leads patients towards the decision for potential replacement.
Now that's a pretty serious operation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a major reconstructive procedure. So it's something that's not really known. Knee replacement, hip replacement. So a lot of patients know about that because they're pretty common. It's less common in the ankle.
Now I've got if you're watching this, I've got a copy. I've got a foot here.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
it's a human foot, but it's not a real human.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, we didn't cut somebody's leg off.
replica. Yeah.
It's a replica. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. People listening on the radio, explain what we've got here.
So-
And what do you do?
Yeah, so this is kind of an acrylic model of the foot and the ankle. So, what we're dealing with here is this joint here. You've got your tibia, you have your talus, and the ankle joint is kind of right in the middle.
So if you do an ankle replacement, do you cut off the tibia?
Well, so our job is to remove the remaining joint, or what is the biggest generator of pain for patients, which is usually bone-on-bone contact. And what we're trying to do is to recreate the natural ankle. And so what we do is we remove the bad portions of the joint and we place in these artificial joints.
But aren't you, at that point, are you not cutting through the muscle and the tendons? How do you keep that from going bad?
So the approach that we access the joint is through the front part of the joint in a known area that's a safe zone for accessing the joint and for a quicker recovery. And resecting the joint or removing the painful portions, there's a newer procedure out now that we actually obtain a model of the patient's individual ankle, and we're able to more clearly determine areas of joint resection and to more, create their ankle in a more
Natural-like way.
Yes, thank you.
Now, this is something that's fairly new, right, as far as ankle replacement?
So the technology, or the implants, have been around for a while, but the technology is really exploding. And the implants are getting so much better, the technology is getting better, the instruments and the techniques that we use are just, it's expanding every day, and it's just making our job a little bit easier.
All right. If somebody would decide that they're a candidate for ankle replacement, how long does all of this take with the recovery?
So, usually if they come in and see us, and let's say we come to the determination we're going to do this, it usually takes about 4 weeks. Patients need to get a CT scan, and we get these custom guides. It takes about a month to make them. It's from a 3D printer. So these guides, let's say this would be your ankle, and it allows us to kind of do exactly what we need to do, but the procedure itself takes about an hour to do, maybe an hour and a half.
So how long are you going to be out of commission if you do this?
About 6 weeks.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. But it's not something that you just take lightly and say, hey, I've got a little arthritis, I'm going to go have my ankle replaced.
Not at all. Not at all.
You want to think seriously about it. But what is nice to know is that the technology, the know-how is now available,
Yes.
where years ago it was not, and you just had to suffer with pain.
Yeah.
It's been out for several decades. It's just
What has?
Yes, but the prior implants just weren't as successful. So
Okay.
with each generation, better implants have been created.
Okay. If people want more information, what do they do?
They can call us at 882-BONE or 573-882-6708.
I like that, 882-BONE.
882-BONE.
882-BONE, and that's over at the Missouri Orthopaedic.
Correct.
Okay.
Orthopaedic Institute, yep.
Thank you, Dr. Kyle FIALA and Dr. Ben Summerhayes.
Thank
Pleasure to have both of you here. We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, Food Bank for Central Missouri and Maplewood Barn Children's Theater. See you then. Bye-bye.